Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Frozen Fortunes. I thought we'd start this one off with showing you Hill Tavares' profile, because why the hell not? Obviously off camera, I've played a massive load of games, and we're here today for our final game of the season, and then we're going to go and talk about transfers and stuff. We've got a short list and all sorts of goodies to talk about. So straight after the game against Spurs, we travelled away to Courier and got ourselves a fairly comfortable 2-0 win. It could have been more, really. Sergio Santos was the man of the moment with 2 goals in 2 minutes, one of which was a volleyed screamer from the edge of the area, giving us a really solid win and another clean sheet. Next up, we had a very impressive 4-1 win away at Midtjylland. This one really did take me by surprise, as they've been pretty solid. Nathan Holland did score a goal for them, but it wasn't until the 89th minute. Svenningsson grabbed one, Bravo grabbed a pair, and Juan Shishi made it 4-1 in the 91st minute. A really solid away win to keep the gap over Copenhagen. Speaking of Copenhagen, we played them in the Danish Cup quarter-final, and unfortunately we were beaten thanks to a Jean-Kevin Augustin goal. I think it's a bit harsh. On the night, we probably deserved something. Despite playing a rotated side, we created enough chances to score a goal, but unfortunately that was us out of the cup. Ball weren't too pleased, as we were supposed to get to the semis, but I think they'll let this one slide, considering we won the title, the cup 2 years in a row a few years ago. And then immediately after that, we played them in the league. And my question is, where was this form in the previous match? Couldn't we have split the form a little bit? No, we smashed them 4-0 at home in the league, which is an unbelievable result. A brace for Bravo and a brace for Svenningsson. I believe Bravo also assisted one of Svenningsson's goals to put in an absolutely stunning performance and really just wiped the floor with them in this game. We played that kind of hug of death, frozen hug of death or whatever formation in this game, because they played a lone striker and it actually worked in this one. Then we were at home to Lyngby and unfortunately suffered our first, I believe anyway, home defeat of the season in the league. A 1-0 defeat to a Søren Stephensen goal. Very disappointing. Again, I think we were the better side and deserved the win, but we lost the game. Mark Yakin picked up an injury in this one as well. Not ideal, and it kind of just allowed us, after immediately beating FC Copenhagen, to be pulled straight back into their clutches again. We then did get back on the right path with a thumping 3-0 win away at Aalborg. You can really see that Svenningsson and Bravo are starting to step up in these games. Not always, but they're certainly getting a lot of these wins are coming because of goals they're scoring. Bravo particularly really is firing. 2 goals for him, 1 for Svenningsson, and a 3-0 comfortable victory. Then at home to Brøndby, we really did put the hammer down. A goal for Akinola, 1 for Melamdowitz, 2 goals for Mariano Bravo, and an Ed Francis own goal. Kasper Skov actually gave them the lead in this game, but after that we just blew them out of the water. A 5-1 win, one of our biggest wins of the season. 2 more goals for Mariano Bravo, really making a run to be the top scorer in the league, and he's still in with a chance. Then we continued the run with a 3-0 thumping at home of Midtjylland, who really have not been in good form against us, certainly. Juan Shishi with a goal, Bravo with another one, and Mehdi Kuja grabbing himself one in this game. Andre Cunha has put in some extraordinarily good performances over these period of matches. He's been getting a few Man of the Match awards, despite not even getting assists in some games. He really does look like the real deal. He and Chowie are quality on that right wing. And then we went to FC Copenhagen and lost in the league. Very annoying. Jean-Kevin Augustin's goal sunk us again. Bravo missed a penalty on the 8th minute, which would have at least given us an equaliser in this game. Shishi still played an extraordinarily good game, winning a lot of tackles. But annoyingly, even a draw here would have won us the league. But them getting the win just prolonged the inevitable, or so I thought. Next up, we had ourselves a rare draw, a 2-2 draw away at Lyngby. Given the lead, just into the second half through Jonas Svenningsson, but then Jens Sloth, and Per Nielsen quickly flipped it on us. They were down to 10 men, and thankfully we made that situation pay as Mark Yakin grabbed us a late equaliser. It didn't matter though, because FC Copenhagen lost 1-0 to Brøndby, and that handed us the league title before this game was even played. So we did win the league for the 2nd season in a row, but they've really run us tight, and you'll see what I mean by the league. And our final game of this little run, another home win, this time over Aalborg. Goals for Akinola, Mark Yakin, and Andre Cunha missed a penalty in this one. I guess it's just the way the pecking order fell. Despite missing a penalty, he still put in a man of the match performance yet again, having a very, very good end of the year. And yeah, that was our final game that we played in this little run. It took me bloody ages, but I'm glad we did it because it means we can keep the save moving nice and quickly. And all of that leaves the league looking like this. We are 9 points above FC Copenhagen. And you might think, well, that's pretty far. Yeah, it is, I agree. But when you look at the amount of points they've got 79 points, which is the amount that we won the title with last year. So they've actually had a better season than the previous year. They really are still pushing. If we can get a win in our final game, we'll set a record points tally for the Superliga. They've already got that with 90 points. We could get 91 if we get it. Not currently got the top scorer either, with Bravo on 19. He probably needs a hat-trick to finish above Christian Jensen today. And, well, Amoa's got no chance of catching Custer because we've got so many different players have played in that position. I think overall we'll have the most clean sheets, but no individual goalkeeper will do so. I really do want to get those records today, though. Maybe Bravo can excel for us. Now, a couple of little bits of admin. Peter Surgård has signed a massive new deal. Now that he's 18, we've tied him down to a proper 5-year, comfortable, great deal, because I think he's still got huge potential for us. Svenny also got his first international goal for Denmark and an assist in a 6-0 thumping of Gibraltar. Okay, fine, easier permit, but it's nice to see him get off the mark. We've also upgraded the data analysis facilities. Again, I swear I say this every episode, but the board seem to do it very, very quickly. £2.4 million they've invested. I'm just going to keep doing it every chance I get, really. They also let me have yet another affiliate club, so I thought, why not? Let's go and have a little look. So this is the one we went with. Apologies if I butcher the name. I should have looked it up beforehand. Zbrovka? Brno. That's what I'm going with. Zbrovka. Zbrovka? I don't know. Someone let me know in the comments how that's pronounced. I'll probably go and look it up on Forvo for next time. But yeah, another affiliate club. They've got decent facilities, good players, professional club. It can't hurt to have as many of these as possible, to be honest. It gives us lots of options to send players out on loan if we can't seem to get them to go out on loan normally. Our B team won the league for the second year in a row. We've actually put 13 past a team in one of those games recently, so that league is starting to look quite easy. And more importantly, we got £16 million in television revenue from the Champions League, which really has boosted our wages, and not wages, our finances up quite nicely. In fact, I'll just quickly show you now. We've got 22.8 million in the bank at the moment, and that is a joyous place to be. I'm really hoping that we're going to get at least sort of £4 or £5 million to spend in the summer, because I plan on breaking our transfer record this summer to really give us a chance next year, strengthen the squad, maybe try and find a couple of players that can slot straight in and then spend the rest on youngsters that we can keep developing, basically. I've also picked up a couple of players on sort of transfers ready for next season, but I'll show you those after the game when we talk about transfer targets and all that jazz, because I really need to sort out that shortlist. Okay, so I've just gone over to, because I was going to try and actually show you the players now, and I've noticed that we've got a sell-on clause thing available to sell for Fabiano Gravenius. We'll check that out in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, I've actually signed up a few players in preparation for next year as well. I sometimes don't always save them to the end of the year. Some players I see and I'm just like, we've kind of got to get that done now rather than wait till the end of the year to do it, and you'll see why with some of these guys. So the first one is Akram Aoudi. That's as close as I'm going to get to saying his name. He is a central defender. He's not amazing, but he is 6'7" years old. He's 6'7" at 17 years old, and he's got the resolute personality. So I thought he was worth bringing in. We've not paid a huge amount for him, if I remember correctly. 130k, not too bad. We've also signed this lad, Ryan Rook. He's a striker from Huddersfield Town, but he's got 5-star potential still, and he's still only 22. He's costing us nothing to bring in, and I figured, you know what? It can't hurt to have another player, particularly when we're bringing him in on a free transfer. It really cannot hurt. Next up, we've got this lad, a Norwegian. We're finally going to sign a Norwegian, Kjell Arne Skrida. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I don't really know. 16 years old. He is a defensive fullback for now, but I'm going to retrain him because he's got that 11 crossing, 10 dribbling, balanced personality, but we can sort that one out. I think it'd be a solid signing for us, and, you know, he's cost us 300k, which I appreciate is a lot of money in some respects, but when you're getting them this young, I just felt it was a good deal at the time. And finally, there's this lad, Carlos Cifuentes, a Colombian central midfielder, but he's got that 5-star potential. I warn you, all of these, I know it doesn't say it here, but they do have 5-star potential. All of them, I think, except Aouadi. He's got like 4-star. But this lad, £35,000, I thought, you know what? He looks like he might be a reasonable deal for that money. I regret it a little bit not holding off because there's a few other players from Colombia that I'm looking at, and this guy might not have been the best choice, but for £35,000, I'm not super bothered by it. So, Chowie is suspended, which is unideal because Rogers Jr. is injured. More on that in a second. So Hansen is going to have to play in here today, which is not what I really would have wanted, but hey, good to give him a debut. But yeah, the situation with Carl Rogers Jr., he has a hip injury, which he got in training, and is going to be out for a minimum of 5 months with a specialist, which means this summer, my most paramount of objectives is to sign a first-team left wing-back for this team, because Rogers Jr. is not going to be back till October, maybe. And I do worry about his long-term longevity in this squad. So I think that's the one position we really need to be signing. And if I have to drop 3 million on a player, then we will. And on the bench, Amoa, Terziev, Santos, Yakin, Moskuza, Clausen, and Surgård. Oh, that reminds me. We've got that sell-on clause thing, don't we? Right, so Gravenius, sell-on clause. We sold him to Arsenal for 1.4 million with a 2 point. If we could get 5, because this is looking at what they did with Torre. If we get 5 million for this. Ooh, okay. Jesus. £9.76 million. I kind of have to do that for me, because I know that there's potential down the line maybe, but we need the money right now, and the board are prepared to give me 75% of transfer funds from these sort of things, which could really boost whatever we're going to get in the summer. Or do we wait until we get our transfer budget and then add it, just in case they take it away from us? I might hold on, as long as it doesn't go down. I might actually hold on until we get our transfer budget for next season and then add that in there, just in case they rebalance the books or something and we lose a load of transfer funds. I'm not going to tackle these guys harder anymore. I've noticed that we've been getting a lot more bookings and suspensions, particularly in our wing-back positions, and I think it's coming from giving these guys an almighty kicking in games, and I don't really want to have that happen, unfortunately. It's going to cost us too much in the long run. Okay, so question of the day, and today's question is this: have you got a save planned for FM19? If so, what and where? Now, so obviously the game has the 2-week beta before the full game comes out, and I always do a beta save first. So I'm thinking my beta save this year, I'm just going to do a Fulham save, just for the couple of weeks on the beta because it's my club, and we've made some interesting signings this summer. I think it'd be a fun one to do for a couple of weeks. As for the main save, it's always a rebuilding save, which means we start with a League 2 or lower side who have fallen from grace and rebuild them back like we did with Wimbledon and Pompey. So with that in mind, obviously I've already taken suggestions, but if you've got any more... Oh, what a goal that is from Nikolai Mugensen! Brøndby have the lead here. Come on, guys. You're better than this. We might actually have to go on attacking here. Not ideal. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for that, obviously, you know, it's English side, League 2 or lower, that have been in the higher divisions to try and rebuild them back to their glory. We've talked about this before. I'll put a vote out closer to the time. And if you have any ideas for a question of the day, of course, drop those in the comments too with the hashtag QOTD. But what are your plans for FM19 saves? I'm sure you've got some already. Obviously, I plan to do an Outcast to Icon streaming save too. Going to do one on this version of the game too, but we'll probably do one on FM19 as well because I like playing that type of save. Anyway, Cunha, Zayem, Svenningsson, good touch. He's getting surrounded by players. Cunha, ball, that's not a good ball in. Although they're getting played into trouble here. Okay. It's only 3 minutes on the clock. We are a goal down, but we came from a goal down against them in the previous game, and we won 5-1, so I'm not overly fussed at the moment. Shishi. Cunha. It's a bit too deep for him, baby. Oh, there we go. Juan Shishi levels things up almost immediately, basically. Yeah, they scored in the 3rd minute. We've scored in the 4th minute. Juan Shishi with another goal for the season. I do wonder, actually, if Shishi's the type of player that we could maybe look to phase out in the summer. If we can find someone with like 4-star, 5-star type of situation, Shishi might be one that could fall by the wayside because he is starting to hit a plateau in his ability. And we've got money now. Should be knocked out of the air. Lovely. Zayem. Round the side for Bravo. Oh, well, there you go. We've turned it around very, very quickly. 5 minutes into the game, we've managed to fall behind and now going through it through Sani Akinola. What a man. This has been an incredibly fast-paced start to the... Oh, my goodness. It's 2-2 inside 8 minutes. Daniel Christensen, every single shot on target from both teams has currently gone into the net. 2-2 inside 8 minutes. The rest of the game is not going to live up to this expectation, I don't say. That's terrible goalkeeping from Niang. Unfortunately, Amo is picking up a slight knock at the moment, so he's not been playing. I'd actually be tempted to push Milandowicz up into midfield. That's what I've been doing in some of these games. Just pushing him up a bit further, giving us an extra body in midfield might just allow... well, might not allow them to keep the ball so easily if we've got an extra player in those positions late out on the side. Ball in. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Daniel Christensen has put it in. It's 3-2 to Brøndby. 33 minutes into this game, and every single shot on target has gone into the back of the net. Brøndby 3, B67 2. Okay, we're going to have to try something for the rest of this game, I sense, because it is not going particularly well. I thought the danger had cleared, but we just kept getting the shots blocked, and then, again, dreadful goalkeeping from Niang there. He should not be allowing anyone in from that tight angle. Right, we're going to switch over to the frozen hug of death. Push Milandowicz up into the midfield. The good thing about playing him in the centre there is we don't actually have to adjust anything. We can just switch the tactic and he automatically goes in there. And he's good enough to play in that role as a ball-winning midfielder. So we can push out and give us an extra body in the midfield. Akinola, Svenningsson. Could really do with the wide men right about now. Hansen. I wish we had Carl Rogers Jr. really. Ball in Svenningsson! It's in the back of the net. It's 3-3 here inside 35 minutes. Jonas Svenningsson with the goal. Great goal, cross rather, from Simon Hansen. His first contribution to the team so far today. It's been an interesting game so far, that's for sure. 3-3 after 35 minutes. Not doing great on the old defensive front, though. Kind of hoping to not concede too many goals here. Svenningsson, brilliant header from him, though. Great stuff. I always worry, though, because of the wingers. Zayem, out wide for Cunha. Can he go past his man? He has. Can he find a cross? He does. Bravo! Oh, my goodness me. It's 4-3 in the first half. Brøndby 3, B67 4. This is unbelievable stuff. Bravo has now finally got one, but what a first half this has been. If the second half is anywhere near as good as this, we could have an 8-7 on our hands. Great touch from Cunha. Gets to the byline, whips it across. Bravo making the back post run. 20 league goals this year. He needs one more to tie it up with Christian Jensen. What a first half. Second half seems to have calmed down somewhat after the absolute frantic fest of the first half. I just kind of want to see out the win now, really. No funny business. Just get the win. Akinola. Bravo. Options. Well, one of them. Got Hansen out wide. Have we got anyone in the box for it? No, not really. Zayem. Cunha could probably deliver a better ball than Hansen can. Ball in. Bravo's header. It's in the back of the net. It's 5-3 to B67. Mariano Bravo now does have 2 goals on the night, which means he is now level as top scorer in the league. And Cunha's got 2 assists as well. This is unbelievable. 5-3 on the hour mark. literally the highlights of this game is actually just going to be every goal, I would imagine, because I haven't going to have time to put everything in the video. Bravo, brilliant header from him. It's now 5-3. This is insane. See if Mark Yakin fancies a late one. Monk scored. Christensen? Oh my goodness me, it's 4-3. 5-4 rather. Daniel Christensen gets one back. This has not been a good defensive display from us, I have to say. I guess it's kind of, this is a proper last day of the season game. It's like FM's managed to model it. Reminds me of West Brom Man United a few years ago. Christensen's header, back of the net, 5-4. This genuinely has to be one of the craziest games I've played. It's amazing to see how this game's actually gone. Not just the fact that the scoreline is what it is, but it's the way that the scorelines come about. Oh, good luck. Oh, God. Capped off with a magnificent error. It's 5-5 on the night. We've thrown away a 2-goal lead here against Brøndby. And the thing is, the most annoying thing about this is it's all our fault. Milandowicz, what are you doing, son? Lial's in there. It's 5-5. Thing is, that was nothing to do with the formation. That was just Milandowicz being a silly Billy. It does appear as if this game is going to be a draw in the end. Oh, God, no. Oh, I thought he was going to put another one in. And I think that's probably going to be your lot here. I'm still a bit hard done by that we've managed to concede 5 goals in this match. It's proper end of this. Curtin! Oh, God, that should have been 6-5. Pat Curtin should have just won it for us at the edge there. Well, if nothing else, it's been an unbelievable game. 5-5. Crazy stuff. Easily the craziest game I've had on FM for years. So there we go. We finished 7 points above FC Copenhagen in the end. They finished with 3 more points in second spot than we finished with when we won the league last year. So they've had a bloody good season. It's a bit unfortunate for them, really. Lyngby do still come third, though. As for the relegation stage, Køge have already been relegated. Somehow they were relegated out of this. Horsens and Randers, despite being absolute bobbins, are still in with a chance. Top scorer overall, Bravo's currently got it. I do wonder if those 2 goals are going to be enough because he's played less matches. It looks like he might well get top scorer in the league again. That'd be something else. Right, so remember, we've got an analysis video coming up. I'm also going to do a special video for 10 years into the save where we take a look around the other leagues and cups and awards for other countries and everything and just take a little look at what's been happening in the world because a lot of you requested me to do it, so we're going to do it. Never really done that type of video midway through a save before. Don't know how long it'll be, but we're going to give it a crack at some point. Anyway, it's time to talk about transfer targets. This should be an interesting section. So I just recorded myself for 5 minutes talking about transfers and I didn't have any of the recording software turned on. Good stuff. Right, so yeah, take a little look at things. Ashley Marinus is probably, well, he's ranked as the best on here, but that's just because of the way that I've got it ranked. He's a potential option to replace Carl Rogers Jr. He's consistent, which is really nice to see. Fairly professional, good crossing and dribbling. He's 20 years old. We could probably get him for about, I don't know, £700,000 maybe. And I feel like he'd be a worthwhile investment for us, to be honest. He can play all along that left side. He's got a lot of options in that, which means that he's just a very good versatile player. Yes, he'd cost us a fair amount in wages, but I feel like we're going to get a decent wage budget next year if we're going to be getting, hopefully, a solid transfer budget next year. With the money we've got, you'd like to hope so. And even if we don't, I should be able to rummage some of that like £9 million for Cravenius, which I hope to get into some of the wage budget. So I think we should be fine and should be able to spend big in the summer. So there's a few centre-backs in here that I'm sort of looking... This one hasn't been scouted properly yet, and I'm sort of still looking into a couple of these guys. I might put a bid in, but Benno, maybe. But we'll talk about more of that in the summer, I think. Now, this is Upa Makondelela. He is another South African lad, obviously, 18 years old. He's got a decent value. He's a deep line playmaker. He is injury prone, though, and I don't know if I want to kind of go with that. He has got good consistency, though, and we could pick him up for 400k. I assume that's a release clause. No, okay. That's really weird. So he's one potentially to look at. There's also a guy who's been on our radar for a while, Christian Pedersen. The thing is, he's a right wing back. It's not really an area where we need to improve at this current moment, although he's a very good looking player, and I don't really want to take players off of other Danish sides at the moment. There's Alvaro Carrasco, a Chilean striker who plays for Colo Colo. Don't know how much it would cost us, but he's professional, good in the air. He's got 16 finishing, 16 first touch, good composure. There's a lot of things I like about him. He's 6'6". He's injury prone as well, though. That's, again, it's another one of those things I try to avoid if I can. Another option potentially for the Carl Rogers Jr. role, maybe cost us a little bit less, is, Sibongisini Ingulube. 20 determination, so there's that. But not quite as good in some other areas as he might be for example, with Marinus. There's also David Dutch, who is an Austrian 19-year-old. Wouldn't cost us a huge amount of money, I don't believe, although they don't want to sell, but we'd push them on that one. He'd be more of a backup, but he's got that 5-star potential for room to grow into. Consistency works well within a team. There's a few things about this guy I like. Another option, potentially, Norwegian lad here, Sebastian Standerholen. Again, lots of good options there. Consistency, again, this one's either or. We seem to be finding a lot of inconsistent players. I want to find a midfielder that can strengthen this section, because I do think that Sergod's coming through. Shishi's just sort of reaching his potential level at the moment. And maybe in the summer, if he wants to leave, I wouldn't be totally opposed to it because of the fact that, well, there's, you know, we could bring someone in better maybe and get the wages off, get some money. We've got Mahmoud Al-Ash. Again, would be available for a reasonable price, but it's the left wing where we're really struggling to find players. There's this guy, Mateus Alritz. Again, consistency poor. He's from Schalke as well. It cost us a lot of money. It's hard to tell. My scouts have been predominantly scouting youth intakes this season. However, because that's mostly getting done now, over the summer I'll be using them to target specific positions in like certain price ranges and stuff. So they should be able to bring me better players for now rather than for the future. But I do still like to keep an eye on this kind of stuff because that's just where I like to play. Option in goal, perhaps another one of these guys. Daniel Mande is a Romanian. Could probably be picked up fairly cheap. But again, the consistency. There's Youssef Zetchi here, who is a central defender, but again, not fantastic. He's got good consistency, though, so there's that. And that kind of about does it. I know it's not like there's a load of players here, but I do hope to pick up some of these guys, and hopefully the problem is I often find myself, I find a player come through the scout report, and I'll just go and sign them immediately, which is what I've done with the other players I showed you earlier in the episode. I generally don't tend to wait around on a player particularly long. A few of them I might well do, particularly if I'm waiting for them to run out contracts, but the problem with doing these transfer list idea thing is it's difficult for me to actually go and sign any of these players at this point because someone better always comes along, and that's the problem. Some of these centre-backs I might go after, or one of them. Maybe Nuno Santos, not sure. Maybe Martin Beno. He's been on the radar for a little while now and has put in some solid performances this year over in Bratislava. Can maybe get a cheaper deal on him because he plays for a side in a slightly less fashionable league. I don't know. I certainly imagine that some of our biggest signings will be players that will not be on this list and we haven't even discovered yet. But that's just how it is. So it has certainly been an interesting season for us, qualifying for the second round of the Champions League, which is just unbelievable. I think we're going to get 9th place in the coefficient, which means we'll get a guaranteed group stage spot and a best place playoff spot for probably FC Copenhagen. And not only that, we get a guaranteed Europa League group stage spot for the 3rd place side, which means that's going to be really, really useful for them to get some extra money for the 3rd place teams. Overall, I think the other teams are going to benefit greatly from this. Plus, I think us moving up to like 4 places in the league, would it be 4 or 5, would give us even more league prize money too, because I believe that's sort of on a sliding scale. So that's going to help some of the other clubs in Denmark too. Hopefully FC Copenhagen could get into the Champions League with us one of these years, and we could really have a crack at having 2 good Danish sides in there. Because after all, we are still sort of slyly doing the building a nation approach that I tried to do before with Midtjylland. So yeah, there's that option too. Sorry this last little section has been a little bit disjointed. It's just hard to know kind of what to do with stuff like that. At some point when I finally get into streaming properly, I will just stream the summer transfer windows with this. That way we don't have to worry about anything like this, and you can just watch me go along and do it like that, basically. So if you have enjoyed this season, us winning the title for the 2nd year in a row, getting to the knockout stages of the Champions League, not quite so good on the cup runs, but definitely the team is improving. Svenningsson is really starting to look like not a prospect. The guy is clearly a wonder kid. I really do wonder how high he can go, because his potential doesn't seem to have found its ceiling yet, and I really hope he's going to be world class. That would be really, really important. He and Storgard, to be honest. So if you have enjoyed this this season, I suppose, and the way we've done, do drop a like on the video. That would be dope. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more videos in your inbox every single Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. However, there's going to be a few little more things coming around at the moment because we've got an analysis video tomorrow, and I believe possibly tomorrow as well, I'll be putting up the where the league is kind of situations one as well. So there'll be potentially even 2 videos tomorrow. So there's that to look forward to. So I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.